All right, it's August 6th, Tuesday, end of the day recap, and I just want to talk a little bit on some stocks and some insights for you guys. All right, so a couple things I already talked about before. I'm not going to review those other videos, but looking at some stocks here, you got WPO, Washington Post. Watch this volume over here. It's accelerating to the upside. Now it did gap up, so it may go down if you entered it here after this consolidation pattern right here. And then by all means, again, congratulations, and don't forget to take some profit off the table. Looking at PBI over here, it did some very nice consolidation pattern here, moving down this way, and then when it broke out, it did it on much better volume. So right there is the higher volume, and again, it just continuing to move up here on decent volume, so it's just heading up this way. So again, as stocks rise and as they're moving up, you need to start taking some off the table. Now this is a low flyer stock, meaning from here it went from about 15 to 17.91, so it's about a $2 move, but still great if you played it right. TSN, I've been talking about this one the last couple days. Notice the action that's been going on. Again, down here you have the volume that's increasing, stocks moving up, doing well, ended the day high, which means if you have some, you're welcome to hold some for the next day for a swing trade. But again, take a little off the table if you got into it earlier on, and especially right around this region. Then go ahead, take some off as the stock climbs. That way you can lock in your profits. Don't be greedy. All right, some other things that I'm watching. Disney appears to be slowly starting to pop out of this descending trend line. Volume is slowly picking up. It's moving up. Let's see tomorrow and watch what it does, because one day doesn't make a trend. So keep an eye on it. It's going to probably move upward, but let's see what the market action says. But it's looking like it could move up. This one I want to talk about, Kohl's, just something for education purposes. If you were in on this one and you wrote it, for a little bit upward motion, or you were holding on to this, when stocks break like this, you want to get out of the way. This was a solid trend line right here, a fairly good one, and it's breaking right here on, a little more than average volume. So definitely I would take my money and run if I was in this one on the long side earlier. Don't pray and hope and wish that it's going to come back. Now you can watch tomorrow for a confirmation day, but probability and chances speaking from what I've seen over the years, it's going to continue lower. The same thing here. Notice what happened with JCP over the last few days. Notice this trend line. It was holding once, bounced over here, held it again, broke right here in this region, continued on heavier volume, and it just continued to topple down. So is it going to keep bounce back up to like the $16 level? It may within 6 months, maybe in a year, maybe in 5 years. Who knows? You don't know. But do you want your money tied up in it? No, you don't. So that's why I mentioned for this Kohl's company, just keep an eye on it, and get out if you're kind of in it for the long side, and don't pray and hope and hold. Stick to your stops, stick to your rules, and that's what you want to do. Same thing with the JCP, so avoid those kind of things. Ralph Lauren, again, bounced off of this resistance line, or had this price ceiling, and it broke out the last couple days. The volume, nothing exciting, but it did move. So did I trade it? No, I didn't trade this one. My main trade was Apple over the last couple days, and I had over a couple thousand shares in that one, and it ran for $10-12. So for me, that was enough. But again, this is another good one. If you were watching it, fantastic stock to catch the move, but the volume wasn't there for me on my risk reward strategy or system. Now, one final one I want to mention. I mentioned CF a few days ago when it broke this, and it was on high, heavy volume. But the thing about the CF Industries over here, when it broke this right here, I entered. And then I took off about half on that same day because it just climbed so high. Same day I took it off, about half. Then the next day I took off everything because we had a red